What's up, what's up, what's up? I hope all of you are doing well. I know all of you are doing well now that you have graced this channel. Before I get started, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that little notification bell. And please make sure you have your notifications set so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So yes, you guys, this is gonna be a pretty hot button topic, but I'm not one to shy away from controversy, so I figured that it would be in my best interest to say what's on my heart and say how I feel and be able to express myself with my freedom of speech before it becomes illegal. So I wanted to talk to you today about the law of gender and how the law of gender, this law is being broken, but it cannot be broken without consequence. You can break laws, but you cannot break universal law without consequence. I think that in this day and time, we are seeing a lot of overcomplications of gender. And instead of allowing ourselves to live inside of our nature, we want to do everything outside of that. And as a result, we're suffering the consequences. It's really, really unfortunate. You know, I saw right before I got off of social media, I'm doing a social media detox, but that's a whole nother story. But I saw a t-shirt on Instagram. I saw a t-shirt that a young lady was wearing, and you could tell that she was part of the LGBTQ community. It read, "Masculinity has no gender." Now, while I do agree that it takes masculine and feminine energy to come together to create a human being, and we do have masculine and feminine inside of us. When you come into this dimension, you come into this dimension as one or the other. Although the spermatozoa from my father and the egg of my mother created me, the human being, I was born from my mother's womb into this dimension as a woman. Cosmic law is what it is, and those laws cannot be unchanged without consequence. So when I saw this shirt, I thought to myself, you know, masculinity has no gender. While I understand the concept of what is being portrayed, what was being portrayed in that t-shirt, what I would have to respectfully disagree with is the fact that masculinity has no gender, because no woman can ever be more masculine than a masculine man, because masculinity is the nature of a man, and no man can be more feminine than a woman, because femininity is the nature of a woman. And I'm not sure how we have gotten so far away from simplicity. It seems as if everything now has to be an overcomplication of a natural cosmic law. In this feminist movement, one of the complaints of feminists is that women don't make the same amount of money as men, when the empirical data shows otherwise. Now, I'm going to suggest that a lot of you guys watch Thomas Sowell and his empirical data that breaks down a lot of these disparities through data that doesn't support a lot of what feminists are saying about some of the injustices or disparities that women go through in terms of unequal pay. But the empirical data shows that women who are of childbearing age and who marry tend to work less, and men tend to work more. So men make more because they work more, not because women are being paid unequally. Studies also show that women who are past the childbearing age make more money than men. You know, it seems to me as if this war of the genders is going on with an agenda behind it. And I think we're fighting a war that we are not consciously aware of. We are the soldiers of a fallacy gender war. And when you look at the data, when you look at the studies, when you look at the numbers, and it doesn't support what is being projected out, we tend to ignore fact and get radicalized in these movements that do not serve us. Facts don't care about feelings. My next comment is in no way meant to offend anyone when it comes down to their preference. And I do believe that we have the right in this country to live the way we choose to live. However, the term transgender has become very politicized. In me speaking with a lot of people and knowing people from this sector of the LGBTQ community, a lot of them don't even agree with that terminology. I've heard from several prominent people of the LGBTQ community who say that they don't even like being called transgender. They say, and I quote, I am a man who has chosen to live my life as a woman, or I am a woman who chose to live my life as a man. There's one infamous female impersonator, and that's what he likes to call himself, a female impersonator. His name is Flame Monroe. Flame Monroe had an interview on The Breakfast Club where he explained this whole phenomena with the terminology of transgender. He basically said that he, is a man who chooses to live his life as a woman. He could never be a woman. When you think about what Flame Monroe said and how much credence it holds to it, no matter how we may feel about that particular statement, that statement will always be true. No matter how much surgery or thinking can take you out of your nature and replace your nature with something else. The chemical blood makeup of a man is different than a woman. Our brain sizes are different. The way our brains are wired are different. Women have endometriums, ovaries, vulvas, vaginas, clitorises, uterus. Even if that woman has had to have surgery or hysterectomy, to have those things removed, due to health conditions, she still entered into this world as a woman who had those things. There is no amount of surgery that can give a man that essence. When people say things like, trans women and regular women are the same, I would have to respectfully disagree with that, because we do not go through the same things. Although there may be some elements of so-called discrimination due to gender, we are not the same because our natures aren't the same. Another unfortunate happenstance for the transgender community is the fact that Bruce Jenner came out as Caitlyn Jenner. Woman of the Year, Time Magazine, I think that was the magazine, Time Magazine deemed Bruce Jenner coming out as Caitlyn Jenner as Woman of the Year. And I thought that this was an extremely unfortunate thing to happen for the transgender community, and I'll tell you why. Not because Bruce Jenner came out as Caitlyn Jenner and Woman of the Year, was because that was a strategic and political move Bruce Jenner was being investigated because he committed a vehicular homicide. During the investigation process, Bruce Jenner changed his gender. Now, whether he felt like that, he had always felt like being a woman, I don't have any quarrels with that. What I'm saying is that it was conveniently in that time that he was under investigation for this murder, vehicular homicide, Bruce Jenner changed his gender, or Bruce Jenner, I should say, became Caitlyn Jenner. And legally, a person can't, through certain loopholes and laws, you legally cannot be charged for a crime if you have had a legal name change. Caitlyn Jenner cannot go to jail. Basically, what I'm saying is Caitlyn Jenner could not go to jail for a crime that Bruce Jenner committed. And so people who saw Bruce Jenner on the cover of Time magazine deeming Bruce Jenner Woman of the Year through Caitlyn Jenner, people don't even really understand the story behind why. And it's unfortunate that Bruce Jenner coming out as Caitlyn Jenner gets all of this praise when conveniently converting into Caitlyn Jenner under the investigation of a vehicular homicide that he committed by being Bruce Jenner. There is a lot of political motives behind a lot of the things that we see in the media regarding gender. Pulling us apart is overcomplicating things. Now we're getting into proper pronoun. It's a bit overwhelming and ridiculous. There's already an implied understanding. When a person says, hey, you guys, doesn't mean that we're saying women are men. That's just a cultural implication. Just like mankind. Mankind includes all. But even that has become controversial. It's like, what are we doing? Why are we overcomplicating a universal law? And also, why do we think that we can break the law of gender without consequence? What I'm saying is that I think we need to just get back to simplicity. There's nothing wrong with being in your nature and understanding your nature. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but although I have not struggled with gender identity issues, I have struggled with my own sexuality at times, but I know where that stemmed from. So I'm able to identify why that happened. But I think that we have become an overcomplicated society where the more things are convoluted and the more things are just so abstract and abnormal, the more we have to try to understand it and accept it or make a political agenda behind it. It's becoming ridiculous, and it's only tearing the masculine and feminine apart. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I know this video is going to be a bit controversial, and I try my best to be as respectful as I can, but I know that in the climate that we are living in now, with this oversensitive and cancel culture and emotionally charged culture that we live in now, anything that you say, even if there are facts that bear it true, people tend to have issues with it, and that's fine. I have a right to express myself, but I also have a responsibility to express myself in a respectful way. Well, this has been a hot button topic. I know that it's very controversial. I'm going to go ahead and leave you for now, but I will be holding on to your love until the next video. Bye.